Good morning, students. Let us begin our today's class on the chapter Is Matter Around Us Pure? In our last class, we were discussing about solution. So today, we are going to discuss about concentration of solution, including dilute and concentrated solution, saturated, unsaturated, and supersaturated solution, including examples and solubility. So let us begin. So first of all, what do you mean by concentration of solution? In a solution, the relative proportion of the solute and solvent can be varied. So depending upon the amount of solute present in a solution, it can be called a dilute or a concentrated solution. So let us first discuss about dilute and concentrated solution. So dilute and concentrated both are comparative terms. So if the small amount of solute is present in a large amount of solvent, that is, if the amount of solute is less than, it is called the dilute solution. And if lot of solute is present in a small amount of solvent, then it is called a concentrated solution. As you can simply understand from the diagram as well, just notice the color of the solution. The dilute one is fainted in color and the concentrated one is having deep blue color. So it means that it is having more amount of solute as compared to the solvent. So moving further towards an activity. So let us discuss one activity for understanding saturated, unsaturated and supersaturated solution. So the activity is like this. Take approximately 50 ml of water in two separate beakers. Add salt in one beaker and sugar or barium chloride in the second beaker with continuous stirring. When no more solute can be dissolved, heat the contents of the beaker and start adding the solute again. So what are your observations, students? You must have observed that while we are adding salt in the beaker, it is dissolving. But after some time, a time will reach when salt stops dissolving in it. But again, if we start heating the beaker or raising the temperature of the beaker by 5 degrees centigrade, then again salts start dissolving. But again a time will reach when no more salt can be dissolved at that very temperature. So using this very activity, we can conclude the definition of saturated solution as well as unsaturated solution. So we can define saturated solution, the solution in which no more solute can be dissolved in a solution at a given temperature, is called saturated solution. In other words, we can also say at any particular temperature, a solution that has dissolved as much solute as it is capable of dissolving is said to be saturated solution. Now, quoting the definition of unsaturated solution, it is if the amount of solute contained in a solution is less than the saturation level, then it is called an unsaturated solution. Now, can anyone tell me what would happen if we were to take a saturated solution at a certain temperature and cool it down slowly? Yes, after that we will get a supersaturated solution. So a supersaturated solution contains more dissolved solute than required for preparing a saturated solution and can be prepared by heating a saturated solution and adding more solute and then cooling it gently. In this way, we are able to prepare a supersaturated solution, and excess dissolved solute crystallizes by seeding supersaturated solution with a few crystals of the solute. So just see the picture over here. You will be able to understand the saturated, unsaturated and supersaturated solution. In the first beaker, it is at 25 degrees Celsius. It is unsaturated solution containing 95 gram solute and 5 gram solvent, water. So after dissolving it, we are getting a saturated solution at the same temperature. Means only 9 gram solute will remain after dissolving. So when we are going to heat it, again the saturated solution becomes unsaturated, and as we are giving it heat, means the temperature has already risen up to 50 degrees Celsius suppose. Then if we are going to cool down the unsaturated solution, and if we are cooling down the unsaturated solution, then we are cooling down it up to 25 degrees Celsius, and we are not getting any precipitate, then the solution which is obtained is known as supersaturated solution. How? Because we are knowing that a supersaturated contains more dissolved solute than required for preparing a saturated solution. Suppose for preparing saturated solution, we are having here in the second beaker the saturated solution, 9 gram solute being left and 91 gram solvent we are having. So when we are going to heat it, those 9 gram is also being dissolved. So we are having more amount of solute in the third beaker, more than the saturated solution. So we can say that a supersaturated solution is containing more dissolved solute than required for the saturated solution. So the fourth one is the supersaturated solution. After some time, when the precipitate will form, then again it will become a saturated solution. You can see over here in the last beaker, again saturation has taken place at 25 degrees Celsius. Means again 9 gram solute precipitates out. So I hope this saturated solution, supersaturated and unsaturated solution is clear to all of you. From the last activity, we can also define a term called solubility. So solubility is the amount of solute dissolved in the given amount of solvent at a particular temperature. So we can define solubility as the amount of solute present in the saturated solution at this temperature. So you can see over here what is the effect of temperature on the solubility of a solution. So first one is solid into solvent. It increases with increase in temperature in case of solid dissolves in liquid. Like for example, sugar solution. So the solubility increases with the increase in temperature. Now again the second graph is for gas into solvent. So here it is inversely proportional, means the solubility decreases with increase in temperature in case of gases dissolved in liquid. So I hope all of you have understood. So let us watch a video for proper understanding of saturated, unsaturated and supersaturated solution.
Saturated, saturated, and supersaturated. How do I tell them apart? Here we have an unsaturated solution. Our unsaturated solution is capable of dissolving more solute. You can keep adding solute to this, and it's still got the ability to make that solute dissolve. In an unsaturated solution, all the solute that's in there is dissolved. That means what? That means no chunks, no grit in the bottom. Every single piece of solute in that unsaturated solution is dissolved. Here we have a saturated solution. It cannot dissolve any more solute. But how does a saturated solution look? Well, here's the weird part. In a saturated solution, all the solute is dissolved, which means it looks the same as the saturated, right at the point of saturation. Where the saturated solution is going to look different is when we add more solute to it. If we add more solute to a saturated solution, this will result in undissolved particles. In other words, we'll have chunks in the solution or we'll have grit at the bottom. That's where a saturated solution begins to look different from an unsaturated solution. Okay, so let's check our understanding. Okay, so here's a quick rundown. In an unsaturated solution, it can dissolve more solute. So when you add solute, it doesn't change the appearance up to the point of saturation. It may look cloudy for a while, but if you keep stirring, it's going to all dissolve. In a saturated solution, you cannot dissolve any more solute. Therefore, when you add solute, it's going to change the appearance. You'll see chunks or grit. Now, no matter how long you stir a saturated solution, if you don't change the temperature, those chunks or grit are not going to go away. One more way to tell you've got a saturated solution. You've reached the saturation point. Supersaturation? Oh no! One more term. Let's look carefully at what supersaturation really means. Let's say that I have a solution that's saturated at 10 degrees Celsius. I've got all the solute in there that the solution can possibly dissolve. It can't take another molecule. Well, what if I heat the solution to 30 degrees Celsius? And now it's got a larger capacity for dissolving solute. So I add some solute. I add enough solute to make this solution a saturated solution at 30 degrees Celsius. This solution at 30 degrees Celsius that's saturated has more solute in it than it did at 10 degrees. Okay, so far so good. Two saturated solutions. Where does this supersaturation come in? If I can cool that solution from 30 degrees back down to 10 degrees and no solute precipitates out, then I have a supersaturated solution. So again, if I can take that saturated solution, raise it to a higher temperature, add more solute, make it saturated again, but with a higher amount of solute, and then cool it back to its original temperature without any solute precipitating out, we now, ta-da, have a supersaturated solution. If solute precipitates out when you cool the solution back down, it is not supersaturated. It's just a saturated solution with some chunks on the bottom. So if we go through that scenario again, and we take our saturated solution at 10, heat it to 30 and add more solute, and then cool it back down to 10, but in this case the solute precipitates out, we do not have a supersaturated solution. We just have a plain old, boring.
So I hope now you have understood what are saturated solutions, unsaturated solutions, and supersaturated solution, and how supersaturated solution is being prepared. So students, today we have discussed about concentration of solution, including dilute and concentrated solution, and the three types of solution, that is saturated, unsaturated, and supersaturated solution. Thank you students.